And so we thought, okay, we're just going to leave the three of us women. Our husbands like, it sounds like time for a road trip for you girls to
That's great.
to North Carolina. So
That's such a long trip.
We set out on Sunday after church and drove 10 hours, and we didn't tell anybody we were coming. We had decided we weren't going to let this resident that was staying in the camper that didn't have her title and keys that we were coming. We showed up unexpectedly on Monday morning at 8:30 knocking on her door. And she was so surprised when she opened the door. She's like, what in the world? She's like, couldn't believe we were there. And we're like, we came to help you get your title and keys for your camper.
That's awesome.
Great.
And so then we were on a mission, and we took her with us, and she spent the day with us as we set out and went headed over to Hope Village and pulled in, and I'd say they were pretty surprised to see us.
Oh, I bet.
So then Ronnie came up to us and was telling him, that we had came and we were wanting to get the title and keys for his camper. And the resident living in the camper went with us and gets out and tells Ronnie that, we had come to help her get her title and keys to move her camper. And we said, she said that I guess Anthony had the title, and he's like, Anthony, I don't know Anthony. And he didn't know Anthony. Then eventually he goes into the camper to get Deanna and comes out, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, Anthony. Well, I get Anthony's phone number. She's on the phone with Anthony to get that title. And the person, the resident who also needs keys, she had asked about the keys. Well, he said he didn't know. He didn't think he had the keys. If he did, he didn't know which ones they would be. And he gets in his truck and gets out some keys. And he's like, I don't know if she has the keys. I don't think I have the keys. Well, all of a sudden, whenever she comes out and she gets on the phone with Anthony, and Anthony, oh yeah, the keys are in Ronnie's truck. So he gets in there and he gets out the keys. And he's like, if you take a picture of them and send them to me, I can tell you if that's the right keys to the camper. And so then we set off because we have the address, and the man, we had to drive about almost an hour and go to the place and get the title. Then the next day we took her to the license branch and got her title for her plates and stuff for her camper.
Did they seem like mad when you guys were there or when you left or anything?
They were surprised, because we showed up unexpectedly.
You caught them off guard for sure.
So they pretty much and then it was funny because when we go to get the paperwork and stuff, the guy, Anthony, says to her, I was wondering because it had been like a couple weeks and we never did hear anything because they were waiting on her ID from Deanna to do the title work.
Oh, Lord.
So all along she's passing the buck to this Anthony. And then Anthony's like, what are you talking about?
Like, where are you? Why aren't you coming to get it?
Yeah.
Oh, my
so
goodness.
then he's asking us as we were getting ready to leave, he's like, so do y'all think there's something fishy going on here?
Huh.
Well, like, sounds like a possibility, but we're not really gonna go there. But
Right.
it's pretty funny that we also heard through this resident who was keeping in contact with the person who was still at the village that they were upset because they had to give her this other camper, and because of her being in contact with us and stuff, that it wasn't going to happen for her getting the title and the keys to the camper.
Oh, they were just going to keep them from
we
her.
were going we were going, and we were going to help her get the title and the keys to it.
See, that's awesome. That's awesome. I applaud you for
Yeah,
that.
and most people would have never went that extra step.
I mean, that's a big extra step. You guys drove 10 hours one way again.
We were on a mission because we call this person there. I call her our diamond in the rough because we met such a humble person with such a good heart, and like she's became a good friend to all of us, and we keep in contact with her to check on her, make sure she's okay. But I have to kind of go back to what I was talking about, how this resident, when we're headed home, and I get this text message from this lady I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to figure out, how did she get my phone number? And so I asked my friend Brenda, I says, ask her, how did she get my phone number? Well, whenever she told me, it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, oh yeah. So when we were at the village working the day, tearing down the mobile home, there was a rat that came out of it, and it was on the tree. It was climbing a tree. And one of the other female residents at the campground, she was really infatuated with that rat. And she had never seen a rat before, she said. She's like, I didn't know they were that big. She's like, could you take a picture of that rat and send it to me? And I didn't know, because I was over where we were tearing the mobile home down, and I didn't know that we weren't supposed to be in contact with them.
Mm-hmm.
Think anything about it, because she asked me, could I send her a picture of that rat? So I'm like, sure. I'm like, what's her number? So I put her number in my phone, and I sent her a picture of that rat on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And not even thinking a thing about it, because I do that. I take so many pictures all the time, and I, didn't even think nothing about it. And then I later found out that, Kim and Brenda, who are over talking to the other resident and have their phones out, when Ronnie came over and said that we aren't allowed to be in contact with them. Well, I didn't know that, because they're in a different area. So, and then, so as it turned out, after we left, the female resident that I had sent the picture of the rat had my phone number. So she gave it to the other resident, and then he gave it to the male resident.
Wow.
Well, when Deanna figures all this out, and we were watching these videos. You can watch everything play out by her videos. Boom. This female, right after they found out where, they tracked back how they got my phone number, because I sent a picture of the rat. On the very next day, she's on Deanna's video. She's crying. She's emotional because she's being transitioned out just like that. She gets boot. She gets the boot.
Oh, the other female. Oh, wow.
Oh, now so is the male that you guys got close to, supposedly.
Yeah, I think he's leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like every time somebody breaks a rule that shouldn't be a rule,
right. These rules that aren't rules.
But they make it look like it's a positive thing, but they're putting them in a position where they can't do anything. Like where you saw at Hope Village, there is also nowhere to work around there. There's no public transportation. There's nobody has a car. Did Deanna say that there was any program to, I don't know, drive them to go to jobs?
They said that, they would take them places, or they like told us all this stuff that they said that, they would take them to work and stuff. But I could tell you this this woman that we're staying in contact, that we've been helping out of all this situation, that she was brought in. She was brought in as a person who was running from her life.
Mm-hmm.
Portrait, put out there on Facebook in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what I was saying.
Something about rides, I think.
Yeah.
What?
Just rides, opportunities, any of that kind of stuff to kind of get their life going in the right direction, or
Yeah. Okay. So when she was put on that she's going to go get her, she's like, "I'll come and get you. I'll take you to court." So when she took her, she did take her to court, and when she took her to court to fill out the papers to file for a restraining order against her abusive partner,
Mm-hmm.
she was given a court date.
Right. Yeah.
And that court date, Deanna, here this lady is at the village. She has a court date. She doesn't have a vehicle to get there. And Deanna wouldn't take her.
oh my God.
Oh no.
Take her court date so that she could get, the restraining order. And she missed the court date. So we find this out after we find out about all the camper situation and everything happening to her, getting kicked out, and saying she's getting in a camper, and she's given a camper that she could live in. She was set up to fail.
Yeah.
And so I have all the text messages to prove from this person. I have so many text messages that things that just absolutely shook me.